Have you ever felt like life is trying to tell you something, but you're too distracted to hear it? Maybe you're holding on to things that once mattered, but now they just weigh you down. Old friendships, guilt, the need to be liked, comfort zones that feel safe but keep you small. You're not alone. We've all been there. But what if the real problem isn't what's missing in your life? What if the real problem is what you're refusing to let go of? Friedrich Nietzsche, the bold German philosopher, warned us about this over 100 years ago. He didn't speak in soft words. He spoke with fire, with clarity, with truth. Nietzsche believed that real strength doesn't come from holding on. It comes from knowing what to release. To become who you're meant to be, you must let go of who you're not. In this video, we'll explore 7 deep and powerful things that people learn to let go of in life, guided by Nietzsche's brutal but honest philosophy. These aren't just ideas. These are warnings. And if you listen closely, they might just change how you live, think, and move forward. Stay with me, especially for number 7, because that one, most people run from their whole life. But you're here to grow. Let's begin. Warning 1. The need to be accepted by everyone. Let me tell you something hard, but necessary. One of the biggest mistakes people make in life is trying to be liked by everyone. We bend, we shrink, we wear fake smiles, we hold our tongue even when we should speak the truth. All because deep down we're afraid of being left out, judged, or misunderstood. Nietzsche warned us about this very thing. He said, "The individual has always had to struggle to keep from being overwhelmed by the tribe." And he was right. Because when we chase approval, we trade our authenticity for acceptance. We become actors in someone else's play. We smile when we don't mean it. We agree when we shouldn't. And in that process, we lose ourselves. Let me tell you about a guy named Eric. Eric was the type who everyone liked, but no one really knew. He laughed at jokes he didn't find funny. He kept his real opinions locked away. And it worked for a while. People liked him. But inside, he was tired, confused, hollow. It wasn't until he spent a weekend alone, away from the noise, that it hit him. He had spent his whole life trying to be what others wanted, and never once asked himself what he truly was. Nietzsche believed that the strongest people are not those who fit in, but those who are willing to stand alone. People who say, "I'd rather be disliked for who I am than loved for who I'm not." So here's your first warning. Stop chasing applause. Stop begging to be included. Stop trying to please people who would never do the same for you. You don't need everyone to understand you. You don't need everyone to like you. You just need to be real, even if that means walking your path alone. Because in the end, it's better to be alone and free than surrounded and fake. Let them misunderstand you. Let them gossip. Let them leave. That's not your burden to carry. Your only job is to become who you truly are. And that journey starts the moment you stop apologizing for it. Warning 2. The illusion of comfort and safety. Let me tell you something that might sound harsh. Comfort is a beautiful lie, and Nietzsche knew it. He warned us, most people don't really want freedom. They want comfort. They want a soft life, a predictable routine, no risk, no pain. But here's the truth. Comfort will never make you strong. It will only make you soft. It will make you dependent. And one day, when life punches you in the face, you won't be ready. Nietzsche said, "He who has a why to live can bear almost any how." But how can you find your why if you never leave the warm little bubble you've built around your life? We live in a world that tells us to play it safe. Stay in your lane. Don't risk it. Just get the job, get the insurance, get the retirement plan. But inside, something feels empty, doesn't it? That's not living. That's surviving. Let me tell you a story. There was a man named Kevin. Hardworking, smart, always did the right thing. He stayed at the same job for 17 years. Hated every day of it. But it paid the bills. It was safe. One day he had a breakdown in the parking lot. Sat in his car and cried. Not because of one bad day, but because deep down, he realized he never gave himself a chance to be free. He chose safety over becoming who he really was. Now listen, this doesn't mean you should be reckless. This doesn't mean quit your job tomorrow. But it does mean, don't confuse comfort with purpose. Don't confuse stability with meaning. Because Nietzsche believed, real growth begins at the edge of your comfort zone. Pain is not the enemy, it's the test. It's the fire that burns away the parts of you that are fake. So the real you can step forward. So here's the warning, my friend. If you cling to comfort too long, you might wake up one day and realize you never truly lived. Let go of the illusion and walk boldly into the unknown. That's where your future is waiting. Warning 3. Resentment and the need for revenge. Have you ever noticed how some people carry a grudge for years? Sometimes their whole life? They replay every hurt, every insult, every betrayal in their mind like a broken record. And they believe that holding on to that anger somehow protects them, that it gives them power. But Nietzsche had a very different view. He warned us about what he called ressentiment, a French word that means a deep, simmering resentment. It's not just being upset for a moment. It's a poison that lives inside you, growing stronger the more you feed it. He said that when someone focuses all their energy on revenge or on blaming others for their pain, they don't actually hurt the person who wronged them. Instead, they become prisoners of their own bitterness. The real victim of revenge is always the one who holds on to it. Think about it. When you're angry and plotting to get even, who suffers the most? It's you. Your mind is trapped in negative thoughts. Your heart beats faster. Your body stays tense. Every day you carry this heavy weight of hatred, and it steals your peace and joy. I want to tell you a story, a simple but powerful example. There were two brothers who grew up in the same house with the same parents. One day, a man cheated their father in business. The older brother was furious. He swore he would make that man pay. Every day he thought about revenge, about how to hurt the man back. The younger brother, on the other hand, decided to let it go. Not because he forgot what happened, but because he refused to waste his life being angry. Years later, the older brother was bitter, exhausted, and isolated. The younger brother had built a life full of peace, success, and real happiness. This is exactly what Nietzsche was warning us about. Resentment is a trap. It's a cage that keeps you stuck in the past and stops you from moving forward. When you hold on to it, you are giving your power away. It's hard, of course. Letting go of resentment doesn't mean forgetting or pretending it didn't hurt. It means choosing freedom over bitterness. Choosing to stop letting someone else control your emotions. The truth is, no one can hurt you without your permission. You have to decide whether you want to stay angry or start healing. It's your choice. If you want to live a life full of energy, focus, and joy, you have to let go of revenge. It's not about weakness. It's about strength. The strength to rise above pain, to be the master of your emotions, and to take back your life. So the next time you feel that anger bubbling up, remember Nietzsche's warning. Ask yourself, is holding on to this anger helping me? Or is it just making me suffer longer? You deserve better than bitterness. You deserve peace. Letting go of resentment is one of the greatest gifts you can give yourself. Clears your mind and lightens your heart. And only then can you truly move forward and create the life you want. Remember, forgiveness isn't about the other person. It's about freeing yourself. Warning 4. The lie of permanent identity. Have you ever caught yourself saying, "That's just how I am"? Maybe it's about being shy or angry or not good with people. Maybe you've believed you're simply not a creative person or too old to change. Here's the hard truth Nietzsche wanted to warn us about. This is a lie. You are not a fixed statue carved once and for all. You are a river, constantly flowing, changing, becoming. But we get trapped in these stories we tell ourselves. I am this way, and I cannot be different. Why? Because it's easier. Holding on to a fixed identity feels safe. It's comfortable to blame your personality, your past, or your nature for what you cannot do or who you cannot become. But comfort, as we've learned, often keeps us stuck. Nietzsche said, Man is something that must be overcome. This means we should never settle for who we are right now. Instead, we should strive to grow beyond ourselves, to become more, to become different, to become better. Think about it. How many times have you surprised yourself? Maybe you thought you'd never be able to speak in public, but one day, you did. Maybe you believed you'd never be strong enough to forgive, but you found the strength anyway. That's the power of growth. That's the power of breaking free from the chains of a fixed identity. Let me tell you a story. There was a woman named Rita. All her life, people told her she was shy and quiet, too shy for leadership, too timid to speak up. For years, she believed it. She accepted it as truth. But something inside her didn't agree. Deep down, she felt a spark, a desire to be more. She started small. She practiced speaking in front of a mirror. She joined a local group and shared her thoughts. Slowly, step by step, she built confidence. Years later, Rita was leading teams, inspiring others, and speaking at events. She wasn't a different person. She was the same woman who had been shy, but she had unlocked parts of herself that she never thought existed. This is what Nietzsche calls the overcoming of oneself. It's the ongoing work of breaking free from limiting beliefs. So, what does this mean for you? It means you have the power to change. You don't have to be the same person forever. If you want to be more patient, more confident, more loving, you can. But first, you have to let go of the idea that you're stuck. You have to stop telling yourself stories that limit your potential. You see, identity isn't a prison, it's a starting point. It's a canvas, not a cage. If you keep believing, I am this way and can never change, you're closing the door on your future self. And that's a tragedy. But if you accept Nietzsche's challenge, to become who you really are by overcoming who you think you are, then everything changes. You become a creator of yourself, a sculptor of your own life, and that's the real power. So, listen carefully. The biggest trap you can fall into is believing in a permanent, unchangeable identity. Break free from it. Your future self is waiting, and that self is not the person you are today. Are you ready to meet them? Warning 5. Letting go of guilt for choosing yourself. One of the hardest things we face in life is the feeling of guilt when we put ourselves first. From a young age, many of us are taught to be selfless, to sacrifice for others, and to always think of others before yourself. Sounds noble, and in many ways it is. But Nietzsche warns us about something deeper, a kind of moral trap that can keep us stuck in pain and resentment. He called it slave morality. This is the voice inside that tells you you're selfish or bad when you start saying no. When you put your own needs, dreams, and well-being before pleasing everyone else. That voice can be loud and relentless, especially for those who grew up in families or communities where sacrifice was demanded and personal boundaries were ignored. But here's the truth. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It is necessary. It is the foundation for any kind of real strength, happiness, or success. Nietzsche believed that before you can truly contribute to others, before you can genuinely love or help, you have to become your own master. That means understanding and honoring what you need to thrive. Let me tell you about Leo. He was the classic people pleaser. Always saying yes, always putting his own dreams on hold to take care of others, family, friends, co-workers. He was exhausted all the time, burned out. His mental health suffered, but he thought he had no choice. After all, if he didn't help, who would? And wasn't it selfish to think about himself when others were struggling? What Leo didn't realize was that by ignoring his own limits, he was actually hurting everyone around him. His resentment built quietly inside. He became less patient, less present, less kind. Then one day something shifted. He started setting small boundaries, saying no to extra work, taking time for himself, pursuing a hobby he loved. At first, the guilt was crushing. He felt like a bad person. He worried others would judge him. But over time, something amazing happened. People began to respect him more, not less. His relationships improved. His energy returned. Leo realized that when he took care of himself first, he was stronger and better for everyone else. This is the paradox Nietzsche points to. When you refuse to prioritize your own becoming, you become weaker, not stronger. And living only for others, at the expense of yourself, is the deepest betrayal of all. Letting go of guilt is not easy. It means challenging lifelong beliefs, and sometimes facing criticism from others who expect you to always be available or giving. But it's necessary, because the only way to truly live a fulfilled life, a life of power, freedom, and meaning, is to accept that your needs matter, that your path matters. So, the warning here is simple but profound. If you keep carrying guilt for choosing yourself, you're trapped in a lie. You're denying your own potential. You're holding yourself hostage to other people's expectations. What if you saw self-care not as selfishness, but as an act of courage? What if you understood that by becoming your own master, you create space for real connection, real love, and real impact? This is Nietzsche's challenge to you. Let go of the guilt. Embrace yourself fully. Choose yourself boldly, because only then will you begin to live the life you were truly meant to live. Warning 6. The past that chains you. Have you ever caught yourself replaying a moment from the past over and over again? Maybe a mistake you made, something you regret deeply, or a painful experience that still hurts today. It's like a broken record stuck in your mind, playing the same painful song again and again. Nietzsche warned us about this, how the past can hold us hostage if we don't learn to face it the right way. Most of us want to forget the bad things that happened. We try to bury our regrets, hoping they disappear. But Nietzsche had a different idea. He didn't just say, accept your past. He taught a deeper lesson, love your fate. He called it amor fati. This means not only accepting everything that has happened, even the painful parts, but actually embracing it with your whole heart. It's not easy to love pain or failure, but when you do, something powerful happens. The past stops being a chain that holds you back. Instead, it becomes a tool, a source of strength and wisdom. Imagine someone who made a terrible mistake. Maybe they hurt someone they love or lost an important chance in life. At first, the regret is overwhelming. It feels like a heavy weight dragging them down. But if they just accept the regret without fighting it or feeling shame, they open the door to healing. Then, if they take it one step further and actually love their story, their whole journey, they transform their pain into purpose. There's a real story of a man who fought in a brutal war. After the war, he couldn't escape his memories. The things he did and saw haunted him every day. For years, he was angry and full of guilt. But what finally helped him heal was when he stopped fighting his past and started finding meaning in it. He began sharing his story with young people, teaching them about peace and courage. The pain he once ran from became the fuel for his greatest mission. This is what Nietzsche wanted us to understand. The past is not your enemy. It's your foundation. If you run from it, you will always feel lost and powerless. But if you face it honestly and learn to love even the hardest parts, you build something unbreakable inside. Of course, this doesn't mean forgetting or excusing what happened. It means taking full responsibility, owning your story, the good and the bad, without shame or blame. Because only when you do that can you move forward truly free. Here's a simple question for you. What part of your past are you still holding on to that's hurting you? Is it a mistake? A failure? A lost relationship? Whatever it is, know this: holding on to pain is like carrying a heavy backpack filled with rocks. The longer you carry it, the more exhausted you become. But what if you could take those rocks out one by one? What if you could not just accept your past but find a way to love it? Like it made you stronger, wiser, and ready for what's next. Nietzsche believed this kind of love for life's full experience. Pain and joy is the path to greatness. It's what separates those who live shallow, fearful lives from those who rise, who become unstoppable. So, as you think about your own journey, remember this warning. The past will chain you only if you let it. But when you choose to face it, accept it, and love it, you break those chains. You become free. If this message resonates with you, take a moment to breathe and reflect. Share your thoughts below. What's one thing from your past you are ready to let go of? And if you want more videos like this, hit subscribe and join us on this path of strength and freedom. Remember, your past doesn't define you unless you let it. Choose to make it your power. Warning 7. the fear of being alone. Have you ever felt scared to be alone? Like being by yourself means you are lonely, unwanted, or somehow less than others. That fear of solitude is one of the most powerful chains we carry through life. But Nietzsche, one of the greatest thinkers, warns us that this fear can stop us from becoming who we truly are. Nietzsche once said, "The higher we soar, the smaller we appear to those who cannot fly." What does this mean? Simply put, when you grow, when you become stronger in mind and spirit, not everyone will understand you. Some people may even step away because they can't follow you on that path. And if you're afraid to be alone, you might try to hold onto relationships or situations that don't support your growth, just to avoid solitude. But here is the truth Nietzsche wants us to see. Solitude is not loneliness. Being alone is not a punishment or a sign of failure. It is a necessary step to finding yourself. It is in the quiet moments, away from noise and distractions, that your true self emerges. Think about it. When you're surrounded by people all the time, how often do you get to just be? To listen to your own thoughts, to reflect deeply, to face your fears and dreams without anyone else's voice interrupting? Rarely, right? Sophia's story helps us understand this better. She used to be afraid of being alone. She always filled her days with friends, parties, and constant activity. But after a painful breakup, she was forced to face silence. At first, it felt unbearable, the stillness, the emptiness. But slowly, something changed. She started to meet herself in that silence. She learned who she really was without any masks or distractions. That solitude became her greatest teacher. This is what Nietzsche calls the path of the overman. Someone who overcomes the limits of ordinary life and reaches a higher version of themselves. But to walk this path, you must be willing to stand alone. You must be willing to let go of the fear that being alone means being less. Here is the warning. If you keep running from solitude, you keep running from growth. You stay stuck in people-pleasing, distraction, or shallow connections that drain your energy. You miss out on the chance to become truly strong, truly free. So what can you do? First, start small. Take quiet moments for yourself each day. Turn off your phone. Sit in silence. Breathe. Let your mind wander. Notice what comes up without judgment. It might be uncomfortable at first, but that discomfort is the sign that you are growing. Second, remember that being alone doesn't mean you have to be lonely. Loneliness is a feeling. Solitude is a state. You can be alone and feel whole. You can be with yourself and feel complete. This is where true peace lives. And finally, trust the process. The journey to self-discovery is not easy. It asks you to leave behind old fears and false comforts. But on the other side of that journey lies strength, clarity, and freedom. The freedom to live your life on your own terms. Nietzsche's final warning to us is clear. Do not fear being alone. Embrace it. Let it teach you. Let it make you. Because only when you learn to stand alone, truly alone, can you rise higher than ever before. You've just heard Nietzsche's powerful warnings, the things we all need to learn to let go of in life. These aren't just ideas to think about. They are challenges to live by. Letting go is not easy, can feel like losing something important. But in reality, it's about making space. Space for growth, for freedom, for becoming the best version of yourself. Ask yourself, what are you holding onto that's holding you back? What would your life look like if you let go of those fears, those pains, those old stories? Change starts with small steps. And today, right now, you can start by choosing to let go. Not because you're weak, but because you're strong enough to move forward. If this video helped you see something new, drop a comment below and share your thoughts. I want to hear what you're ready to let go of. And if you want more wisdom like this, hit that subscribe button and join our community. Together, we can face life's challenges with courage and clarity. Remember, growth begins the moment you let go. Thank you for watching. Stay strong, stay true,